Warning, the content you are about to receive is for the sole purpose of exposing fake trainers, doctors, nutritionists, life coaches, and wellness gurus, in addition to educate them and provide you with accurate information.
You know, as a personal trainer, one of the best, compliments I used to get was when a client would do a testimonial for me, you know, because, I mean, that's kind of like, you know, when somebody comes in and as a trainer, I've seen people come in to the gym, and I can see that and I'm not saying this is in your case, but I can just, some people are just very timid. They're not sure if this is something that they can do. And it's always really nice as a trainer, because part of what I do as a trainer is I'm not just training you, I'm fact-finding to get into your mind, to your headspace, to find out what it is that your concerns are before a client ever starts. I want to find that out because I've been there. You know, my whole deal when I was intimidated was when I went into Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym in Venice is where the mecca is for all the pros.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's. I mean, you see him there. And in the late 80s, I did a photo shoot there. And I tell you what, I was so damn intimidated to go in there. And I was in good shape, you know, at this point in my career. But to do a photo shoot there where all the big boys were and the lights like this were on me, I was scared, I was nervous, I didn't know if I belonged there. Well, this is kind of the same thing that happens with clients when they come in. I mean, it's a huge step when you walk through that door, because you have all these, you know, sometimes you wonder if you can even do this. I've had people say, I don't know if I can do this, you know? And I'm even afraid to walk into a gym alone. I mean, it's that, with some people, it's that, you know, if you don't really understand that as a trainer, then you're kind of missing the boat with your client right off the bat. You know, you need to create an environment for them to be able to excel, you know, because it's like that even when you're working with athletes. It's all the same. You just got to, you know, you got to tailor that. And a good trainer is more than just somebody who's counting repetitions. There's somebody that is, when you're doing your workout, because, you know, your life is and your body's in constant flux or change. So you're not the same all the time. And if you're a trainer who is just I used to call some of these trainers out there, they're just professional rep counters. They have a board and they just check off, and they're not really paying attention to the client. So the clients are coming in, sometimes they're having a bad day. If you're doing, you know, if you're having that kind of a day and you're not being productive, if you're not a trainer who is engaged with the client, then you're going to lose that person right there, at least for that day. You know, you have to be really tied into them to make them productive. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a team sport in a sense, you know?
Sure.
And obviously, it's not just the trainer either, because you have to be willing to participate, you know? So then my question is this, you're actually training in our gym here in Tulare. And so what brought you in to begin with?
I had a friend that she still is training here, and she talked me into trying it out, so I did.
So at that point, have you ever worked with a trainer before?
Only through sports. I played sports through high school and college.
Okay, so you had a coach that coached you that way. But as far as actually, now, were you in the gym? Did they have you working out in the gym for a sport?
I did for part of those years.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, aside from that, after that, did you ever go into a gym after that and start working out?
No, I didn't. I just I didn't want to be judged, you know, by other people that were working out.
Yeah.
And so.
Kind of an intimidation factor a little
sure,
bit? Yeah.
Sure, because especially the bigger ones.
Yeah.
you know, the rumors and then what you see, and so
Oh, yeah, it's awful.
right. So what I just did things at home.
Yeah.
But nothing with weights.
Yeah. So were you watching your diet at that point and just like exercising like?
Yes, I do. I walked a lot, and I'd run. You know, as I gotten older, I've walked more than I run now.
Yeah.
But so are videos, you know, Taibo, things like that.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so the next step then was walking into a place like this.
Sure.
Coming with a friend. You know, one of the things, talking about big gyms to go into, because when I first started training clients, I didn't have my own club, so I worked in other clubs and health clubs, and it is an intimidating situation at times when you go into places like that. You know, it really is, and that's one of the reasons why my preference was always because I've been in the industry with these personal training studios for a long time, I've always kept it on the smaller side for the very reason, some of the reasons that you're talking about. It's more intimate, and when you have a trainer, if they're doing a good job, they take you under their wing and are saying, look, I got this with you.
Right.
You know,
right.
So and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. When you first come in, of course, you're checking it out, and you're more aware of the ambience and what's going on. But with your trainer, I would think that at some point you just forget about the environment. It's kind of like being on camera. At some point you forget about the camera because your trainers, they're really engaging with you.
Right.
Is that right? Would you say that?
And Jose's my trainer, and he does a great job with that.
Yes.
He's a real people person.
Yeah, and that's
it's
really
the difference.
It is. It's hugely important. You know, it's about developing a relationship with who you're working with.
Right.
You know, and I think one of the key things is that it's tricky because that relationship, there needs to be a distinction there. You want to have engage with them to the point you're kind of their friend, but you kind of are not, because as a trainer, we have to sometimes talk straight to you, sometimes,
exactly,
and if you get a little bit too close, I mean, it's a tricky dynamic
sure.
at times, and it sounds to me like what Jose is doing is he's got really good people skills.
Absolutely.
That so you feel comfortable, and you just kind of lose sight and you forget about what's going on everywhere around you, and yet you know what's going on everywhere around you. So, okay, I think it's really important for the person that is viewing this is to, you're taking these kind of steps that's keeping you in a safe environment, and yet you're taking that next step. So when you came into the gym, did you have any specific goals?
Yes, ultimately, I wanted to get stronger, but also, tone up.
Yeah.
And losing weight, I'd always like to lose a little weight.
Yeah.
But becoming tone was real important, and it's gotten to be more important. I've done this for 1.5 years now, and the strength I have it's amazing how much different I feel.
That's a good point for people to know, is that it doesn't matter what age that you are, because I can tell you at my age, your body, it just wants repetitions, and you'll be amazed, like you're saying, how it'll respond to that. All you have to do. This is where it starts getting important, where you need more information. It's okay and it's a good start when you're out doing your own thing. That's a very positive thing. But what I can tell you, and this is when you're working with Jose, there's 3 things that need to be done: weight training or resistance type of training, cardio, and nutrition. Those are what we call the 3 components. Those are the keys to everything that you're going to do. And the more that you incorporate and implement those 3 components, which I know that you are in this setting, the more that you do that over time, all of a sudden the results that you get, it's like working smarter as opposed to working harder. You're being more efficient because you're now working inside and with those 3 components through your trainer.
Right. And like I said, I've been at the gym for 1.5 years now, and when I slack off or slip, which is normal, I feel it. I can really tell, and I want to get back. Yeah. So it's nice to come back.
Does your trainer help you with that as far as accountability?
Yeah, he's good about it. I mean, he's texted me before saying, when are you coming in? And I enjoy coming in, so that's not a hard part, but he's good about it.
But even with that being said, because life happens all around us all the time,
right?
And sometimes it's just like you don't feel like getting in, and sometimes when that trainer goes, okay, come on in anyway,
right?
Right. And that little that right there is part of your success, in my opinion. The success of all this is because, there are going to be those days where you're done, but too many times we use some of those days as an excuse as to not go and do that. But I've always found, I don't know about you, that when I go when I don't really want to go, but when it's over, it's like I feel way.
Absolutely, you feel so much better.
Yeah.
And what I like about when I leave, Jose's always saying, "See you tomorrow,"
Yep.
or "When's your next day?" So you feel you're held accountable.
Yeah.
And that's good too.
Yeah, because at some point, then it's like any other kind of discipline. When he starts doing that as your trainer, then it's kind of like something you start building into yourself over time.
Right.
If you can stay
Right.
with it, the key is just staying with it. So, so you came in because you not necessarily for weight loss, even though weight loss was something you wanted to do. But so you came in just to strengthen up a little bit.
Yeah, I walked consistently, about 5 miles a day, or that's my goal anyway. And I knew that I needed to do something else.
Yeah.
And so.
Have you made any kind of changes, or part of the job of a trainer is to help teach you a little bit. Is there anything that like with nutrition or anything that you think that you've kind of learned now that you're doing better because of what your trainer's been instilling into you?
Sure, I try to watch my calorie intake, and I wasn't much of a calorie counter type of person.
Yeah.
So that's been a big part of what I've learned here.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, eating healthy, and, it's okay to have something that you like every once in a while, but just don't overdo it.
Right.
And as I get older, that is really important. I didn't really have to worry about that in my
Okay, yeah.
younger years, but now, here I am. Well, I'm 52.
Yeah.
So it's
The crazy
it's a big
thing is
difference.
all these old sayings are they all of a sudden start ringing true when you get older.
Right.
Like
right.
moderation is the key.
Right.
That's kind of one of the things that you're talking about. Because look, it's difficult to. I mean, it's not reality to think that you can be on such a strict program, all the time. It just doesn't work that way. And
No.
I think it's important for the people that are watching this interview, because this is a testimonial on your part, is that you don't have to be perfect. It's not about that, but it's being moderate, but it's being consistent. But you don't have to be so rigid that it becomes no fun anymore.
Right, and I've kind of taught myself that if I can absolutely not come in one day, it's okay, I'm going the next day.
Yes.
I don't kill myself over that anymore.
Well, because you're accountable to yourself, and that's really an important thing, because yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And then when you start beating yourself up like that, it actually is, there's one thing to be accountable, but then when you start to the point where you're beating yourself up over it, that's counterproductive. That doesn't do you any good.
Right.
Right. So it sounds to me like your mindset is improved. You have a discipline going on now. You said a year and a half.
Yes, I've been here a year and a half.
Yeah. And how many days a week are you coming in?
I try to get here 3. If I can do 5, I'd like to do 5, but I try to make a goal of 3 at least.
Yeah.
And I come in the afternoon.
After
yeah. work.
Does it make any difference when you come in? I mean, do you come at different times, or as far as how you feel?
I teach, so in the summer I like to come in the morning.
Yeah.
But I just am not one to get up that early and come to work out and then go into work. So, and it's good for me because I teach 6th graders, and it's a crazy day. So coming in and getting all that out of me in the gym is really good.
Good for recovery.
Yeah, oh yeah.
De-stressing.
Right, if I've had a real stressful day and I come in and I work out, I really leave here feeling a lot better.
Yeah. So how, a year and a half, so tell me, are you, like for me, I'll just give you my, for me it's about motivation. I have to have motivation to keep going, because I'm doing this for a lot longer than a year and a half, but it's been about, I've noticed motivation. When I was bodybuilding, the motivation for me was knowing that I was going to be, because I competed, I was going to be up on stage in bikini and some posing trunks. that was a
Right.
strong motivation for
Oh
me.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I can only imagine.
So, and the funny thing was, even like when I got out of the sport,
Uh-huh.
I was having a hard time. I had to get out of the sport because of some health reasons, but I was having a hard time really staying in the kind of shape that I wanted. And I thought, what the hell's going on here? I mean, you know, I've been doing this forever, and I just can't seem to. Well, I realized I didn't have the motivation, and you know, maybe some of the motivation for people that are working with a trainer is actually the trainer themselves, because, you know, I've had some people tell me this, and I'm trying to get you to maybe tie into this with like your Jose. My clients told me that I worked with when I was really training clients, that they said part of the reason why I come in is because I'm coming in for you. I don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah.
You know, type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't like it was they were doing it out of guilt. It was just that they wanted to. They knew that I, as a trainer with them, was in this game with them.
Right.
It wasn't.
You're invested.
I'm invested with you, and this means as much to me as it does to you. That was the idea of it.
Right.
You know. So what's motivating you now to go to stay in? You know, another year and a half.
I just feel better when I do this, and I told Jose, I said, there are two places that I really like to go to now, and one of them is here to the gym. When I miss, I'm very disappointed. Next week, I can only come 2 days, and I'm already sad about that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way my schedule is working.
Yeah.
But I know I'll come back, you know, after that. But I hate to miss.
That's yeah.
I like, you know, I worked out, well, all through growing up, I played sports. And then I was very active with my kids, and I like that feeling. And now that I have that feeling back, I don't want to lose it again.
Yeah. And would you say that, because one of the things that I talked about, I hear all kinds of excuses with people, and there's some misconceptions in the industry. Like, you know, people think that when you come in and have this experience now where you actually look forward to that, some people are going, what? Well, there's some people out there think that you have to be a gym rat in order for this to happen. And I'm going to say that that's not the case for you. In other words, when I was telling people when I was, you know, first in the industry, I was saying, look, you can get this done in about 3 hours a week, you know, because some people use the excuse, well, I don't have time, you know. 3 hours a week, I mean, that's not really being a gym rat, and yet you're getting the kind of results that you're looking for.
Right. You
know?
feel a lot better, and I enjoy it. I always have. You know, I don't come in here and I think, I can't wait to do my push-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely things in here that I don't enjoy doing. It's what the results, how I feel after.
And plus, it's temporary. It's very it's 30 minutes.
Right.
Or
And
so,
I count down. You know, I'm not. You know, you make those goals as you're working.
Sure.
So it's not bad.
And it's kind of like going to Vegas. You know, every once in a while you win a little money or get a little result. It just kind of keeps you going on, right?
It makes you feel good. It just makes you feel good.
Good. That sounds good.
I just enjoy the feeling of it.
Yeah. Let's see. So if you were to, we'll go ahead and wrap this up a little bit, but I just kind of, again, more like your testimony, and you've given, what you're saying here is a testimonial. But if you could just say it in 25 words or less, like if you were writing this thing down, so what would your kind of like hit on the major points of this thing, and we'll wrap this up as your testimonial.
I just can't, like I kept saying over and over, how it just makes you feel good that you're doing something for yourself. You know, you've always used that excuse as a mom where, oh, I don't have the time, but if you just took, you know, that 1 hour a day and did it, you would feel so much better with your children, with your spouse, just
happy wife, happy life,
right?
Sort of thing, you know. That's true, but it's so true.
Yeah,
you know,
and you do feel great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, but afterwards, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, excellent. Well, listen, I really appreciate you coming in, because you know, there's this industry now. My whole thing is where I'm at now is exposing fake trainers, because there's so many of them in the industry, and they create a bad environment for the experience for the client. You know, because unsuspecting clients, they're just believing when they go to a trainer, you know.
Right, they trust them.
Right, and one of the things that we want to do now is to make people aware, and you're making people aware that, you know, you can actually have a really good experience in the gym. And not just be there for 30 days. You're in it for a year and a half. So we really appreciate you doing this interview. Okay? Thank you very much for coming in.
No
okay?
problem.
Thank you. If you want more information about this, click on that link below and go to my website. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below.